All right. Hello, Idiots on Parade, the Too Ugly for TV podcast. We mock the news so you don't have to. I am Nathan Timmel, stand-up comedian in Iowa City. With me, as always, is Jake Vevra, stand-up comedian in New York City. Hello, Jake.
How's it going?
All is well here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 5 minutes late today because I had to run something up to my son at school last minute, but we are a day late, and I am not exactly sure of the specifics of that. Jake, what happened in Pennsylvania?
Yes, so we were in Pennsylvania visiting my wife's family, and my wife lost her phone, right? We were at like an outdoor music festival. She's like, I think I left it in the bathroom. We'd already, we searched everywhere. And
who'd you see?
I'm like, whatever, dude. Like, she loses her. Oh, it was actually her nephews. We're playing music.
Oh,
they're bands. There was a bunch of bands, but it was great. It was a good time, man. It was outdoor. It was in the mountains. They had good food, good beer, stuff like that. I mean, it was awesome. I live in New York City, so being outdoor in the mountains, doing literally anything is awesome. So I mean, you breathe it. You're like, oh, this is what air is supposed to smell like. Nothing. It's supposed to smell like nothing instead of rats and trash and homeless urine.
We've got a delay, so I put my hands up. But to interrupt you, when I moved from Los Angeles to Iowa, the very first morning, my wife, she was my girlfriend then, we moved right in together. She got up and went to work, and I turned on the TV, probably some liberal propaganda like CNN, and it said, all right, the air quality rankings are in, and once again, Los Angeles has been ranked worst air quality in the nation. And I just sort of walked out on our patio, looked up at the blue Iowa sky, and went, yeah, all right, good choice. Hell
yeah, dude. I'm glad you weren't still in Los Angeles and you didn't have to get defensive. Like, how dare they air quality shame us on national TV? Yeah. That kind of thing.
All right, so you're at a music festival, and somewhere the phone disappears.
So we go back to her sister's place, and we're packing the bags and all that. She's like, I can't find my phone, and I'm like, whatever, man. She loses it all the time, but it's dead, So of course it's going right to voicemail. We have like the phone trackers on each other's phones, and it's just showing me at the festival, but like it says 3 hours ago, because when those things die, you can't really track them anymore. So I'm like, whatever. She's like, I'm sure it's inside. So we go out and we're packing the rest of the stuff in the car. We pop some Adderall, you know what I mean, for the drive, because it's like 10 p.m. I've had a few beers, whatever, you know what I mean. So like, this will help me stay up for the drive. It's like a 5-hour drive, and so then we get back in right after we've taken the stuff, to make you not sleep all night. She goes, oh, I'm pretty sure it's at the music festival. Let's just sleep here and go early in the morning. And I was like, God damn it, I would have loved that. I would have loved that idea 2 minutes ago before I took a little magical thing that makes me stay up all night. What's wrong with you?
What is this sleep you speak of?
Yeah. My eyeballs are complete, like complete spheres right now. They are complete, perfect spheres right now. I ain't going to sleep. You know what I mean? So we ended up, it was actually kind of fun, man. We stayed up with her sister and her husband. We just drank wine and stuff like that. And but then anyway, next morning, the phone was in the car the whole time.
Get the fuck out of here.
Phone was in the car the whole time. It was in what I call the secret cup holder. It's one. See, again, we're looking for it in the dark. You know what I mean? Like, you can turn the car lights on, but you know how that goes. It's not like looking in the day. But there's this weird,
beautiful Duracell flashlights here that you could either turn into a laser or a big wide thing.
Sure. I'm using my phone light. I'm doing all of that. But like the thing is there's a really weird cup holder in there that I completely forget's even there, because it's sort of behind the steering wheel even a bit. And you can't even really see it unless you're sitting in the car at the wheel. Otherwise, it's just kind of blocked. It's sort of a weird spot. I forget that it's there, but it was sitting there the whole time. So we ended up coming back today.
So how much sleep have you had? Because had we gone yesterday, I would have been in the exact... I know I said this a week ago, but yesterday was the same fucking thing. I woke up at 3 a.m. and that was it. It was like, I really started dragging ass around 2 p.m. I think I took like a 20-minute sort of half nap, but yeah, for some reason on Saturday nights over to Sunday, I've been I usually wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. anyway, but then I fall back asleep around 4 or 5 a.m. But the past 2 Saturdays, it's been awake at 3 a.m.
Sure.
And then I'm just fucking awake. And so,
Yeah, so this actually was a pleasant mistake for both of us because I would have been dead Sunday as well. So you guys are getting a late podcast, but a better podcast.
There you. Well, better is subjective, given it's still us. It's not like we got replaced by decent, coherent hosts.
If you hate us, you're getting a more awake, still shitty version of us. I'll say that.
There we go. All right, shall we jump in? I didn't send you this because I literally was scrolling as I got the thing like, hey, you need to run to school and drop this off. I have shocking news just updated, like as I was looking 20 minutes ago. Breaking news: Iran has walked away from the table when it comes to peace talks. I didn't see this coming. Nobody saw this coming. It's only the 57th time it's happened since the beginning of the current war.
Trump said we were close.
Yes, once again, we the Truth Social post said that we were right up next to it. And breaking news this morning, Iran has walked away. My favorite part of this is I saw a Truth Social post from Mr. Trump a couple days ago that said, we are almost in complete agreement. All we need to do is finalize the uranium situation, the reopening of the strait, and one other thing. And then someone responded with, oh, I've almost baked a cake. I just need to go to the grocery store, buy the ingredients, mix them, put it in the oven. It's like, like you can't say the 3 most important, uranium and opening of the strait, the 2 biggest, most important things. You can't say we've almost finalized a deal, except for the major parts. So that was pretty funny.
That's right. I've almost finished this woman to orgasm. All I've got to do is walk over there at the bar, introduce myself, buy her some drinks. You know what I mean? Ask her out to dinner the next night. You know, lie, say I got a good job. Get that Turkish thing where they give you your hair back. Look into her eyes, tell her she's beautiful, and I've never loved anybody this much, and then I never ever have sex on the first date, but this is like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. She's the reason dudes used to jerk off to, drawings on cave walls or whatever the hell. And then I take her back. I start with the foreplay, and then I do the thing where I curve my fingers up a little bit, press on I'm almost there, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're right on the cusp.
She's almost got an orgasm, whatever her name is.
Turns out they walked away from the table, so I blame Iran for this. I blame Iran for everything. It is their fault that we bombed them. It's their fault we tore up the agreement in 2017 or 18. It's their... So yes.
If they didn't want to get bombed, they shouldn't have been wearing them silly hats.
Exactly. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with Richard. Richard on YouTube says the Trump administration has no idea what they're doing. I think... they do. I think it has gone from 4D chess to 6D chess. We are playing, Trump is playing 6D chess. I am going to start defending this man with every breath I take. And then I die because, God, this is just, it's hilariously sad how incompetent. The art of the deal, everyone. The art of the deal.
I thought Netanyahu said this would be over in 20 minutes.
So that was breaking news. Let's jump into things that I did send you. Where do I want to start? Oh, let's start here. I thought this was fascinating. I sent you a video of James Talarico, who's running for Senate against Ken Paxton in Texas. And I keep seeing articles talking about, either way, I keep seeing articles about James Talarico having the momentum, and the Republicans don't know how to attack him. And they keep, there's talk of a blue wave in Texas, which we hear every election cycle and never comes about. So I started wondering if Ken Paxton is such a piece of shit that it will be like Alabama, where it took the Republican being a literal pedophile for Republicans to vote against him. Is that going to happen? It won't be a blue wave. It won't be a turning of the corner. Democrats are going to take over Texas, but is Ken Paxton close enough to pedophilia? Not literally, but just in the Alabama sense. Is he that corrupt? But he just did. I just saw someone said, I don't have the name, But someone said, "Hey, Talarico, Ken Paxton says that you're a vegan piece of shit and that you're a pedophile." And Talarico said, "It's funny that you should say pedophile because Ken Paxton just released someone that was convicted of pedophilia and sexual assault and sentenced to 25 years, and he served less than a month. Huh? How about that?" So the long and the short is, it will not be a turning a corner. It won't be a blue
Right,
wave.
he's got full-on attack ads on that.
Yeah, do they?
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
He's
But,
got one.
So
all about
is
Ken
Paxton so
releasing
damaged that Talarico can sneak in for at least one term until they find someone decent to run against him?
I mean, yeah, it's going to be tough. You know, it is Texas, but you know, Ken Paxton was impeached by his own party. I mean, this is not a great candidate by any means, and it's kind of funny to see them like attacking James Talarico with, "Oh, he wants boys to play on the girls' team and swimming competitions, and he likes eating tofu. He's a little sissy. He's not a big, strong Texas man." And then he turns around and goes, "You're a pedophile." It's really like the Drake Lamar, beef all over again. You know what I mean? Where Drake's sitting there going, "Oh, this guy's rhymes are whack. They're whack, I say." And Kendrick Lamar was like, yeah, you're a pedophile." And he won that one. So I think Talarico just needs to learn from both Doug Jones and from Kendrick Lamar and just keep calling this dude a pedophile. And you're going to win.
Or if not a pedophile, just pedophile adjacent, pedophile protector.
Right, yeah, he covers
someone
up
that releases them from jail. Someone that says, "Oh, as soon as your friend got involved, he got released."
Right, exactly. Which, might as well be the same thing.
I think to me, my and I think we talked about this before. My happy point was when I had heard of Talarico several years ago, but when Rogan had him on, that was like, okay, that's a bump.
He did good on Rogan.
That's a nice little bump because Rogan didn't have him on. People get confused with Rogan because they say he's part of the bro market and that he's far right. Like, I remember Rogan saying, "I want AOC to come on. I'd love to talk to her. I'd love to talk to Bernie Sanders."
Right.
And then Bernie Sanders, I believe, did talk to
Bernie
him.
Sanders was on there.
Yeah, and then he
Bernie Sanders went on Andrew Schultz too, man.
Yeah, he went on Mayor Pete. I believe. Yeah, so it's like Talarico was a good step. So it'd be interesting to see if he has Paxton on and how he treats him if he does.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be interesting, you know. I think he'd at least ask him about, "Hey, why'd you let that guy go?" You know, because as much as he went softball with Trump, the one thing he did kind of press him on was, "Are you going to release the Epstein files?" And he should have pressed him further because he gave a shit answer for that. Because he said he has, "Are you going to release the Epstein files, the JFK files, and the MLK files?" And Trump gave the weird answer of, "I will absolutely release the JFK and MLK files because I think it is important to restore public trust. Not so much with the Epstein files. I don't think that's as important." It's like, wait, what? The other ones happened like 70 years ago. Everyone's dead. Is it like, hey, let's see which dead guys actually helped kill this other dead guy? Like, I kind of care about less of that than the people who are still very much alive and very much in power and probably still very much banging kids. That, I think, is a bigger step toward restoring public trust. But he did at least ask him about that. So I would think he would ask Ken Paxton too. Well,
I would hope, because that was, and that's the one thing Rogan has continued to bring up, both the war and the Epstein files. It's not like he went, he got me. He continues because the headlines I see, and they're all clickbait because that's what a headline is do, is like, "Oh, Rogan famously turns on Trump." It's like, but then Rogan goes to the UFC and shakes. It's like, everything is fluid. There these hard absolutes of black and white, and you try and box people in. Like, Rogan's either all in on Trump or he's all against him, or anyone, and is that way.
When he shook his hand at a UFC thing, he was a commentator. He was there doing live commentary, and Trump went up to the table and shook all the hands of the commentators. What's he going to do? Spin on him? You know? Yeah. I mean, like that. What are you going to do? He's not even shaking his hand, in my opinion, as Joe Rogan at that point. He's shaking his hand as one of the 3 UFC commentators. You know?
Has he ever come out and said, "I think I made a mistake," or has he not said
Oh,
that?
no.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if he specifically said I made a mistake, but he's been pretty outspoken about him not releasing the Epstein files,
Yeah,
on
and
the
Iran.
war stuff, on the crazy shit with ICE and the masks and
Oh yeah,
shooting
he
people
went
and all
hard
that.
on us. Yeah.
I mean, so he's been vocally criticizing him on all that stuff and going, I didn't know he's going to do it. Now, to be fair, we knew he was going to do all that because we took the earplugs out while he was talking, while he was running. And we were like, okay, I bet he's going to do all that things he's saying he's going to do in front of that stage full of racists waving shit at him. Saying, kill all the people in Minnesota or whatever.
You made it much better. I was going to say, we actually paid attention, but you made it much more flowery, and I appreciate that. All right, let's. I want to bounce back and forth between fun and political stories. So this one caught my eye, and I think it's just I don't know why I appreciate it so much, but I do. A U-Haul trailer disappeared for 14 years and just casually showed back up like nothing happened. There are late returns, and then there's this. A U-Haul trailer that went missing from Cortland County, New York, roughly 14 years ago, recently turned up at a Syracuse U-Haul location without any explanation, any note, or apparently any shame. It was quietly dropped off, most likely under the cover of night since no cameras caught who did it, and then transferred back to the Cortland County area where it was seen over a decade ago. I like the idea. Now, when someone rents it, I didn't see in the article, like, was it rented under a false name? Why could they not, hunt down the person that actually rented it in the first place? But the whole story is like this. U-Haul trailers go missing fairly regularly. Don't you put down a credit card, a deposit? But either way, I just love that 14 years later, someone returns this U-Haul. Like, I don't know why I like it, but it's just, I wish the story was better. I wish the story talked about.
I need the backstory.
Oh, look at this. We got one in here in the comment. That reminds me, I still need to take the DVD back to Blockbuster. I appreciate the comment. I love it. And I don't mean to nitpick. I would have preferred VHS. I need to take that VHS tape back to Blockbuster. Still a good comment, but VHS would have been the icing on the cake.
Yeah. Hi, is this John Franklin? Yeah, hi. This is Cindy at the U-Haul desk. We got the U-Haul back. You owe us $50 for a scratch on the front fender, and $87,524 in late fees. Yeah, that was about $87 a day for 14 years. So just if you can call me back, you can pay over the phone. We can do this by check, cash, whatever you prefer. Also, you didn't give a full tank of gas, so we're gonna charge you for half a tank of gas on top of the $87,500 worth of late fee.
I know gas was $2.10 when you rented it. Now it's $5.75. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a hit.
Yeah, it's because of the Straits of Hormuz there. Apparently there's a problem in the Middle East. The gas is a little more than when you rented it back in the late 90s. But I am gonna need that money, or I will find you. I will hurt you. You owe me $87,000 in late fees.
Now, the article does say, now, even though it doesn't, it says that GPS and tracking are on all trucks now. So this wouldn't happen today because they could track it unless they get in and find the tracker and take it off. But there is a little note that says the statute of limitations of embarrassment is apparently 14 years because U-Haul has decided not to press charges because it is such an amusing story. So apparently they do have a contract and a name. I just don't know how you let it go 14 years without reaching out to that person and or putting a collection agency. There has to be steps. To go 14 years without.
I'm wondering if somebody just took it off the lot, man. If they stole it, you think?
No, because then there would be.
Yeah,
it was a rental. It says here's where it gets mined. If this trailer had been rented normally, the rental would be $153.
Okay, so what I think happened,
not pressing charges. They're just happy to have it back. Whether the original renter is out there somewhere quietly sweating or has completely forgotten this trailer ever existed is anyone's guess. And now, okay, it doesn't say it in the story, but it could say that someone rented it and then it got stolen from that, like someone thought, because that happens. People steal full U. You hear about it in bands all the time. They have a little U-Haul trailer in the back of a truck, and someone will steal that with all the equipment. So someone may have stolen this from the original renter. The story is vague. I don't like that. I just love the headline. I love that this U-Haul showed up 14 years later, and I wonder how. Like if someone stole it, if it just got passed around, and someone just drove it onto a lot and walked away.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what it could be though too. I remember I did years back. I did work briefly at Enterprise, the rental car place, like in New York here, and every now and then you would get, especially in the shittier neighborhoods. I kind of worked at one in a nicer, more upscale one where people had things called credit cards, but a lot of times people would try to like rent it in cash, you know. And it'd be like, no, we can't just rent it to you in cash. We need a credit card and an ID.
Yeah, here's $100. I promise to bring this car back.
Yeah, my name is John Smith. Thanks for the car. You know, like so it had, but I mean, maybe 14 years ago in kind of like a smaller town in upstate, you could places would just take cash, and so it's like, yeah, my name's Bill, whatever the fuck. Here you go. Bye-bye. I'm keeping this trailer.
Cortland County, New York, and turned back up in Syracuse. So yeah, depending on the size, if people know people, they could be trusting. Yeah.
Or it could be there was just a shady manager of this said U-Haul establishment at the time, because I'm guessing somebody's not putting 20 years in at the U-Haul place as like a manager or whatever, unless you like own the business. Could be he gave it to his friends Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, and they was out cooking meth in their undies in this thing for the past decade and a half, and now Jesse Pinkman has been captured by Nazis and being forced to make blue meth at gunpoint while he's chained up also in his undies for some reason in an underground laboratory underneath a laundromat, a giant industrial laundromat. And Walter White, well, he's dead.
Oh, I'm getting comments on TikTok. It sounds like you've been on Epstein's Island and you get... God damn it, I fucking hate TikTok. They make it so difficult to read shit. I'm going to lose you on YouTube.
See, if we were on the Epstein list, we could afford better equipment, and this would be this would be going a lot smoother.
It sounds like you've been on the Epstein's Island. It sounds like you got most of your talent from Dad. Y'all got the check January 6th attempt, overthrow the government, gonna be a delay. And then, how's it going, Gramps?
It's going great. We got a pardon for trying to storm the Capitol, young man. How's that make you feel?
It does point out Trump has done everything his voters were against. LOL. Yeah, that's pretty much accurate. He ran on Epstein files, no new wars, lower prices, and as Adam and Eve points out on TikTok, yes, he's basically done the opposite of everything he promised, which makes him an actual politician. He ran on being a corporate outsider. Now he's a politician.
Although honestly, even that stuff though, man, he was talking about slapping these tariffs on everything, and it's like, dude, you do not have to be an economics expert to know what the hell tariffs are going to do. That is a tax on consumer goods. It is going to make things more expensive.
Yes. All right. Bob says, used a credit card to trying to get back at my TikTok. Come on, hit that. God damn it, get off there. All right. Used to pay using pay to fill credit card to fuel credit card. I guess I'm not there. All right. Next story. Let's bounce back to politics. I found this interesting. Massie files to run in 2028 after losing House primary. GOP Representative Thomas Massie filed on Monday to run for his Kentucky House seat in 2028, less than a week after losing a primary fight against a challenger backed by President Donald Trump. I thought this was interesting. I sent it to you on the side. I saw a breakdown of the primary in Kentucky, and again, low turnout because it's a primary, but if just 1 in 6 people who voted for him in the general election had voted for him in the primary, he would have beat his challenger. I don't understand why, and I'm sure it's financial. I'm sure he wants to maintain a good standing with the Republican Party somewhat because Trump will be gone maybe in 2028. Why he just didn't try running as an independent in Kentucky, knowing that MAGA will come out for the primary, but maybe not the general, saying he wants to stand up for Kentucky. The only thing I think is he wants to remain nice with the party, and financially it's difficult.
I believe Kentucky is one of those states where there's a law. If you run in a party's primary, like
then you have to run.
Then you can't run as an independent, which seems a little fucked up in one sense, but like I kind of get it, you know, because it's almost like, well, you don't want everybody who loses a primary to just throw a wrench at their own party and split the vote. Like I get why. Like I kind of disagree with the law, but I get why it's there. You know, if every single person who lost a primary ran as an independent, it would be chaos.
I do think it's funny and sad that the instant he lost the primary, he started going, all right, fuck it. Let's talk about Epstein. Let's talk about blocking the $1.8 billion.
He'd been talking about it. He'd been talking about it.
But now he's like, okay, I take that back. He did sign on. He was one of the few. The reason he lost the primaries, he signed on, let's release the files.
That's why Trump went against
like the slush fund. Like he's going after.
Dude, he was on TV a lot before this primary, which is why Trump went against him, talking about Epstein and
I meant the other things. Like as soon as it happened, he came out against the slush fund and one other thing. I think it was he said let's vote against the war in Iran. Like every stance Republicans are supposed to fall in line for. He then I don't want to say but it's like he has zero fucks left to give. And
so Massie's an interesting.
More would do that before.
No, I agree. But Massie's kind of an interesting guy, even in terms of like, even before this, just as a Republican. So like he was a big like tech guy or something.
Right.
And then he kind of just left the tech world and just kind of built like a big ranch or something out there, like just bought a nice ranch or whatever. And then ran as like, he was like a big libertarian guy, you know? And, all this stuff that Trump is flipping around and doing, whether it's the ICE stuff, whether it's the war in Iran, whether it's the economic stuff, especially if you're like a libertarian kind of Republican, you know what I mean, like a Rand Paul type of guy. That shit's really hard to defend, you know, because even the guys like Rand Paul also is constantly on the news going, "Hey, we shouldn't be attacking Iran, shouldn't be attacking Venezuela." I don't like these tariffs. I don't like taxes on shit. And so this stuff really, if you are in that kind of libertarian wing of the parties, just insane to justify.
So do you think then in 2028, MAGA movement will have imploded? Like, because you keep seeing these stupid headlines that are like, oh, MAGA's imploding. It's been imploding since 2016. How is that working out for you? Like, it gets back into power. Like, they look at the alternative and go, she has a funny laugh. Like the Democrats throw the worst candidates out against him. I'm probably banging my microphone.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously hard to determine now because A, we don't know who the Democrats are going to run, like you said, and B, we know that the Republicans don't tend to do well when Trump is not on the ballot. You know what I mean? Like when he's just endorsing people, but it's not an election that he's running it. When it's a midterm or something like that, when it's a special election, they tend to not do great.
Except for the primaries, where it really brings out the hardcores who will say, yes, we are 100% behind.
Right, but that is the primaries. That is a primary.
Right, that's what I just said. I'm differentiating. The general will be much different from the primary. Although this has nothing to do with anything.
He wasn't running against any Democrats in that one. It's his
what I was just going to say. I just saw the greatest TikTok. It showed Texas and the Republican primary that Paxton won, and it showed the entire state as red, and then it showed, I can't remember the guy's name, it showed Paxton and his percentage of votes, and then the losing Republican, and the guy tweeted, "Tell me again about that blue wave in Texas." And the guy responding was just like, you don't know how primaries work, do you? It was just like, how dumb are you? It was the stupidest.
That guy was listening to Trump's speech. He's been, every time one of his candidates wins in one of these primaries, he acts like he just won a general election. And it's like, guy, you might have had a chance with the moderate who's out there going, I think we should release the Epstein files, Now you have guys running in the general election who basically got primaried by you because they were like, yeah, let's keep the Epstein files a secret or whatever. Like, you're running guys who are pro covering up for pedophiles in a general election. Every single Democrat should do what James Talarico is doing to Ken Paxton right now over this Epstein shit. That is the main reason. The main reason Trump is primarying most of these people in all of these districts is because they weren't backing him on things like Iran and especially the Epstein list. So keep throwing that out there. Make them be the pro-pedophile candidate. Do it every time. They're going to come at you. Oh, he believes in boys playing on the girls' team. Like, yeah. This guy wants to bang them on islands. He's at least cool with it. He's at least cool with covering it up. So just keep bringing it back to that.
I agree with you 100%. The logical side of me, though, says that Democrats are so fucking stupid, because they are, that they will trip over their own dick yet again, because that's what they do every time. But
I'm not saying they won't do it, but here's what you're looking at 28. You're looking at a sort of like a Trump is kind of like a cult of personality. Like, the people that are into this guy are really, really into this guy. And it's not just about policy either. It's about how he makes them feel. It's about the fact that they can wave his name around on a flag or a hat or whatever and piss off those goddamn libs that they hate so much. You know what I mean? I don't know if you can pass that off to somebody else. I don't know if somebody else can take that baton and run with it.
Yeah, that's because it's tried.
And that's what I think it's going to come down to in the next one.
All right. Back to a dumb, funny story. This one, not funny, but I found this one interesting. CBS defends Byron Allen time buy, discloses financials on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert's annual loss and Comics Unleashed profit. So, in a quick nutshell, Colbert was number one. He was number one. When Byron Allen took over, he dropped below everyone else. He dropped below the lowest rated. He dropped behind Fallon, Kimmel, at like less than 1 million. However, The Late Show cost $40 million to produce, and in the world of commercials, that wasn't enough to make back. Byron Allen is apparently renting the time slot from CBS for $15 million a year and selling commercials himself. So CBS doesn't have to worry about a goddamn thing. They don't have to worry about ratings. They don't have to worry about commercials. All they do is collect $15 million from Byron Allen, and he takes care of the rest. That makes sense. Like, if you want the bragging rights of, we have the number one show in late night, but you're losing money. Because I remember when they canceled him, when they canceled Colbert, everybody said, oh, it's because of the merger. And maybe that had a lot to do with it. Maybe it has to do with CBS transitioning and Barry Weiss really fucking up the news side of things. However, they did break down and say all the money is in streaming. And there was a big graph that showed how much real time with Bill Maher made a bunch of money. John Oliver had the top slot of this is how much money they make in TikTok, YouTube, and streaming. And Colbert was near the bottom, if not at the bottom. He was down there. So if he's got a massive
staff, and it just costs a lot to make. Is all. It's not that he got bad ratings or nothing. It's just it costs a lot.
You couldn't make your money back. So this, even if $15 million is a very small profit and the ratings are bad, it's profit. It's in the black, and it takes all the stress off. It's like, oh, here's $15 million. Thank you. You deal with the advertising. It makes sense as much as I.
Right. I think it was a little column A, little column B. They were like, all right, well, they're going to make this merger difficult. If we keep this show that we're losing $40 million a year on, glass is half full kind of problem. We can blame it on that, because if they wanted to fight, they could have. I mean, they proved it with Kimmel, Kimmel was getting a lot of pushback too, but they said they stood by him and were like, fuck you. They probably weren't losing that money though on Kimmel. If Kimmel had him 40 grand in the hole because he had a staff of 11 trillion people or whatever, I think it probably would have gone the same way. Well, now it's still fucked up that the government is putting pressure on any show like this, especially from the free speech crowd. Oh, this is First Amendment. All these snowflakes. They don't like that you said a joke that they don't like. Yeah, you know what I mean? So It's wildly hypocritical to do that, especially with the government, when the conservatives would complain about free speech, and they would be complaining about like people complaining on TikTok, not shit from the government, you know?
Yeah.
So to actually see it from the government was disturbing, you know?
It's very disturbing. And timing. Don't do it around the time of the merger. Just literally, they could have said it at any point. Hey, you know what? Your contract's coming up in 2 years. We keep looking at the ledger. This is not good. This is not just the way it came up was complete bullshit.
Dude, I've worked at SiriusXM for a while now, and it's a pretty common thing there for them to kind of let shows go around contract time for a reason that's not really real. It's more just like, we don't want to re-sign the show, so we don't like this tweet you made. And it's like, well, I say more offensive things than this tweet on the show every single night, and then collect a paycheck from you to say it. Like, what are you talking about? And then, but it's like, oh, they didn't. It happened to be 2 weeks before the contract was going to get signed. That kind of thing. I think if this feels like a higher budget version of that.
Yeah.
A more.
All right, two more stories. We can't bounce back and forth because they're both whatever, but this one interesting. Lead prosecutor on former FBI Director Comey's Seashells case withdraws without explanation. Lead prosecutor tasked with overseeing former FBI Director James Comey's prosecution stemming from his post of seashells by the seashore, 8647.
Bro, you weren't even trying to say the whole tongue twister.
I stumbled over it once. I'm like, I'm gonna try and get it in there. But basically, whenever something happens, there's always a reason. And this guy just said, "Nah, I'm out." Like that is interesting. And so the speculation is he's looking at it and like, we got nothing, and I don't want to be on the losing side. Like that's
I mean, that lawsuit was ridiculous. He's been doing a lot of these where he's using the Justice Department to go after people with stuff he knows he's not going to win. He's just making it a pain in your ass. Like,
Department of Justice launches criminal probe into Jean Carroll. Yeah. Right there.
It's kind of it is the same thing, not the same thing, but very similar to how patent trolls work. Where it's like, eventually you will beat me here, but it will be so long and expensive for you that it's not worth your time and money. So just settle out. I'm suing you for 80 billion, whatever. I'll settle out of court for 200 grand. Shit like that. You know, I mean, it's a similar thing. Maybe he's looking for a financial settlement. Maybe he's just making it a pain in their ass because he can. But yeah, no one in their right mind would think this man posted a picture that someone else made with seashells on the beach that says 8647. This is him threatening to off the president. No one in their right mind. They even had Todd Blanche, that new attorney general or acting attorney general or whatever, after they fired the last dumb one. He's also very, very dumb. Not as screamy and shrieky as the last one, but still definitely is dumb and not great at arguing, you know? They asked him, hey man, here's some guy in Trump's cabinet or some judge or some right winger somewhere tweeted under Biden 8646. Are we going to try him too? Well, I don't know. Each case has its own little details, and we like to go case by case. Oh, really? Really? Interesting. So you know this is bullshit. You can't even defend this, man. How do you not come to an opposition interview on CNN or something going, hey, man, what about all the crazy shit Trump tweets out that's way more wild than 8646? What about him praising the death of like Rob Reiner and I forgot who, and Mueller? What about all this stuff, though, man? Like, how do you justify any of this? Like, again, I agree with them when they say
threats.
Right, exactly. I agree when Republicans say, hey, man, the rhetoric's in a really nasty place in this country. It's like, I agree with them, and I'd have more sympathy for them if their guy was still like John McCain or Mitt Romney or something like that. Yeah. When your guy praising the death of his political opponents and, using the exact same rhetoric and worse. Every time they come out and they go, "Do you believe what a Democrat said? And this is like causing hate and blah, 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 blah." Then they play 17 clips in a row of Trump saying the exact same fucking thing at a rally about somebody.
They just did that with going back to Talarico. Stephen Miller said, "Oh, look, Talarico is a trans girly boy," and the official Twitter, I believe it was, of the Democrat Party said, "Fuck off, ugly." And then they like, "Oh, look at what the Democrats are doing. They're saying they're using the F-bomb. They're saying it's like." Completely ignoring the part where Stephen Miller tried to call Talarico trans. But Erie, really quick over here, said that the bullshit cases sounds like all tickets, and I am inclined to agree that you caught someone doing 36 in a 35. Like, there are a lot of bullshit tickets. If you're doing 70 in a 35 or 55, you're really speeding. But there are a lot of bullshit speed traps that are like, oh, just boosting revenue. It's exactly what most.
Someone should get up on those poles and knock down the radar cams. Some hero in the dead of night needs to get up there, dress like an ICE agent. They don't mind, people going around with masks and things like that. You can buy all that shit online. Dress like an ICE agent and then climb the poles and be like, "What are you doing up there?" "I work for ICE. I think there might be Mexicans here." And then you climb up and you just take a fucking hammer to that thing. "I think some illegal put a camera up here to try to help MS-13. And you just bang that thing.
Iowa has gone camera crazy, speed camera crazy. And
yeah, it has. I didn't know about that until I fucking got them in the mail when I was back visiting a few years ago.
Oh. Where did you? Because it's what I was about to say is that
in between Cedar Rapids and Iowa City.
Yeah, it's not just the fucking big highways. Little towns in Iowa, little fucking dots, little nobody places are now putting them in the 55 to 35 to 25, rural highway 2-lane roads, so that as you enter, it's like they're trying to use them to bump up revenue for their little tiny dying towns. Strawberry Point is the one that got me, I believe, and I contested it and I won. I'm like, fuck you. Not only did I contest it, I travel a lot for comedy. I went back there. I looked at the address where they gave me the ticket, and I got out a measuring tape and I took pictures in case I had to go to court, and showed that the ticket was literally 8 feet from the speed limit sign. I'm like, there's the address, here's the speed limit sign, there's the camera over there. If you want to give me a ticket for 8 feet,
dude, there's so many towns
I guess
like
I'm
that.
Guilty, but come on.
I will say, even without the speed traps, man, a lot of those small towns in the middle of nowhere, you'll be on the highway and it'll be like 65, 55, whatever. And then they'll just keep changing it. You go in these towns where it's clearly like, this is a main road where this is still a highway, but it'll keep going. Oh, now it goes down from 55, now 45, now 35, back up to 45, now 35, now 55. And it's like, I know what you're doing here, you fucks, you little redneck pieces of shit. And these are the same people. Oh, we don't like government. We don't like taxes. We don't like nothing. But you got no problem with your fucking goons, with your goddamn badge-wearing goons, just pulling people over just to give them speeding tickets that you completely tricked them into for going a few miles over because there's nothing else going on in your town. There's nothing but meth there that's not getting taxed. And so now you have to bother people that are on their way to road gigs or see family, definitely not stopping in your tiny little shithole town. I'm not going to buy anything. You're not going to make any sales taxes off me, you dirty little fucks. So you got to put this up here. You got to put these speed traps up there. I hope meth kills you all.
I could Google it right now. There's one of those on the Iowa-Minnesota border. The town is so small, it has nothing. It has a bar, it has an antique store that I don't know how it stays open, and it has the oldest, shittiest gas station that is like just one step from old analog. Ching, 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 is like it has the old school digital. But either way, and the only thing it has is a speed camera. You cross from Minnesota into Iowa, you go over a little bridge, it goes 45, 35, and it's right there, and it tries to get you, and then you head out of town. So either way you're coming, they have it right there. And
what's the name of this town? Do you remember?
What's that? I can find it.
Oh, yeah.
I can find it,
While you're finding that, Real quick, I want to circle back to the Stephen Miller thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see the clip of his wife talking about that tweet?
No.
Oh my God. His wife was, I believe, on Fox and was asked about it. And she said, this is the type of hateful rhetoric. And she goes, my husband's not ugly. He is. He just objectively, he looks like young Mr. Burns, but more evil. And I know that I kind of look like that. My wife has never defended people calling me ugly. All right. She would just go like, yeah, I married him for his personality and his dick. What do you want? So but she's on there talking about he's not ugly. And then she goes, this is the same type of rhetoric that made people try to storm the White House Correspondents' Dinner and shoot Trump and in Butler. And I'm like, listen, I get it when they say, they're calling us Nazis, and that makes people want to. But again, hypocritical when Trump's your guy because he says shit like that about everybody. But I get when they're talking about, they called us Nazis. I at least get where they're coming from. They called us ugly. What assassin in the history of murder has ever been like, that goddamn president's got to go? I'm tired of looking at that ugly mug. I'm going to pop him right into. And even then, they probably wouldn't be doing it because someone on the news told them they were ugly. It's probably not their ears that make them want to kill the guy for being ugly. It's their eyes. They look at him. They gaze upon his ugly face. And they're like, I can't have that thing running my country. No. I'm going to shoot that uggo. I can't have him embarrassing us in front of other foreign leaders.
See, I'm going to go against you 100% because if you have ever taken a fucking history class, if you knew a goddamn thing, you fucking ignorant mouth clown, Jake, just up here yapping, you would know that John Wilkes Booth shot Lincoln because of that mole. He said that's ugly. I don't like that fucking weird beard. And the Lincoln mole, whatever side it was on, ugly, shot him. Everyone knows that Booth shot Lincoln, not over slavery, not over the Confederacy, not over the Civil War, nothing. Shot him because he was ugly. Boom. Mic drop. History lesson served. I just made a lot.
I did forget about that. His last words before shooting him were the first words in the Eminem Machine Gun Kelly diss track. Your beard is weird, Mr. President. And then he fucking shot him right in that ugly mug. He was like, you either leave the mustache or you shave the whole fucking thing or you answer to me. I've given you 3 options. Shave the beard, keep the mustache, or die. You chose.
All right, we are
3.
over our time. We got to go. Chester, Iowa is the name of the little tiny town up on the Minnesota border. Sophie and Ken asks if the sheriff is Roscoe P. Coltrane. Pretty much. Boss Hog with Roscoe, yes. Nobody ever called him a Nazi. All right. I have been Nathan Timmel. You can find me at nathantimmel.com. Jake has been Jake Vevra, Vevera. You can find him on all social media at Jake Vevra. Jake, stay on as I sign off. Is this the week or is it next week that you're going to?
Yes, this week. So Friday at, I believe, noon would be a good time.
Okay, that'll work.
Cool. I'll double check with Amy.
All right, so everyone watching, because Jake is going out of town again, we're looking at 2 live casts in 1 week, Friday, noon, probably, but I will post about it on Instagram and YouTube. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.
Stop bombing Gaza when you could bomb Chester, Iowa instead. Fuck those people.